Get me that signal. We need more power.
Well, here we are again, Little John. I believe it's time for another story. Is that what you're here to see the old captain about? Well, alright then. I got another story for you. I call this tale, Give the Devil His Due. Well, if you remember, we had regained our ship, the Man's Promise, and we were itching to give her a proper shaking out. Word came in that the Sargavan trader Sea Chanty was under attack by the pirate ship Devil's Pallor. The Sea Chanty was giving them a run for their money, and it was now a race to see whether she would reach safe port, which is the best port, before the devil pounded her into submission. We figured that we were in the perfect position to cut off both ships and take the plunder for our own. Jarell was in charge, feeling good now that she was back on board her own ship. Celtial, Lyrian, and Damiel were all there too, each of us hoping to finally get some plunder worth our time and our effort. Well, we set off to the Lonely Island, their last known position, and we had to make land in order to water the ship. Jarell found a full set of chainmail. It happened to be on the body of a dead pirate, but hey, loot is loot. Celtio thought he found a cure spell in the dead pirate's belongings, but it turned out to be a fake. Probably why it didn't help the dead pirate any, eh? Well, Lyrian and Damiel took the ship over to the Holy Isle, while we filled the casks, as we wanted to waste no time in our pursuit. Lyrian tried for a blessing from the holy men on the isle, but she was not to their liking. Damiel received not only a blessing, but they showed him a hidden cove where the Devil's Pallor was anchored. They appeared to be making some quick repairs when Damiel struck. They managed to escape, but Damiel heard them. They wouldn't be coming back to Holy Isle any time soon, I can tell you that much. Meanwhile, Jarell and Celt continued to look around the Lonely Island while the crew filled the water casks. Jarell found a broken dragon pistol, and Celt let a blessing slip right through his fingers. The Lonely Isle was living up to its name. Leary and Damiel chased the Devil's Pallor over to Shark Island, where Leary was attacked by an old sea hag who knocked her right to the ground. Damiel was proving to be the hero of the day as he fought off the sea hag, crushed her evil sea cat, and managed to land a few more cannonballs on the deck of the Devil, driving them off Shark Island forever too. Well, Jarell, she seemed to be under some sort of spell as she strolled around the Lonely Island. She found a magic falcata, but it disappeared when she touched it, like an illusion. She seemed to be in a fog herself. Celtial shook off the effects and headed over to the Pinnacle Atoll, where he found nothing. Leary and Damiel joined up with Celt at the atoll and started their own search. Lyrian met an old salt who told her to go away and leave him alone. Damiel triggered a trap, the curse of the deep, but he did manage to escape before it did any real damage. Back on the Lonely Island, Jiriel was still in a mind fog. She saw a potion of healing that turned to mist in her hands, and the good old pirate party seemed to materialize before her, and she was drawn inside, no one realizing that their captain was in trouble of becoming lost forever in the magics of the Lonely Isle. Aye, lad. Well, Little John, Selt tried for yet another blessing at the pinnacle, and lost that one too. While he was distracted, Lirian spotted the Devil's Pallor, and they gave chase. They escaped again, but they'd not be returning to the Pinnacle Atoll any time soon. Damio gave chase over at Tempest Cay, but his search was for naught. Jarell finally realized that she had a problem, and with a superhuman effort, she dispelled the ghostly pirate party. There was something in the air, and it smelled evil. With a renewed purpose, she continued to explore. Well, at Tempest Cay, Selt found some cloth armor on a marine that didn't want to use it anymore. Or at least he didn't after Selt chopped his head off. Lirian finally found that parrot that she'd been hunting for a long time, and he flew right to her like they was the best of friends. It was then that the dreaded Reef Claw attacked her. A beast so terrifying that most of the sailors with her ran off without even lifting their fists. But the beast proved to be of little challenge to Leary, and the claws actually tasted pretty good after a proper boiling. Damiel had the longboat repaired while everyone else feasted. She was taken on water, and he wanted it repaired now rather than later. Everyone laughed at his dedication, but it turned out to be prophetic, and we would need to get back to the ship very quickly. But then again, I'm getting ahead of myself. The big event took place on Lonely Island, where Jarell finally tracked down her prey. Gortys Svard, the hobgoblin captain of the Devil's Pallor, was making his escape back towards his ship. She gave chase, but he escaped. He was wounded, however, and since we had so many crew over at Tempest Cay, he only had one place left to go, Tidewater Rock. We had him trapped, but we needed to find him there and seal off any other way for the slippery eel to escape. Selt had a fearsome canopy creeper drop on him as he explored Tidewater Rock. He fought it off, but not without taking some damage himself. Lirian stayed over at Tempest Cay, and it paid off. She spotted the Devil's Pallor and gave chase, driving the ship off with some deadly accurate grape shot. The day was coming to a close, which would mean that both ships would escape. We had to find Svard soon and kill him, if we were to have any chance of seizing both ships for plunder. Lirian headed over to Lonely Isle to get our captain, while Damiel tried to explore Tidewater. But the waters became calm, and the ship would not move. Oh, I know. It's getting exciting, isn't it, our Little John? It's thirsty work here, you know. Jarell showed up in the nick of time. She spotted the devil bombarding the sea shanty and gave chase. After some furious cannon fire of our own, the crew of the devil threw their leader overboard and surrendered. Jarell faced him fair and square on the deck of our ship. Lirian had closed off the Lonely Isle, so there was no place left for Gortys Svard to go. They battled, and she won. We took command of the Devil's Pallor, and the crew of the sea shanty was so relieved that we had saved them from being sunk by the devil that they surrendered their ship without a fight. Most of the plunder we turned over to the crew. You need to keep a private crew happy or there'll be problems for sure, and it had been some time since we had found some good booty. Damiel did manage to get a new alchemical item called liquid ice, which he seemed quite pleased about. Leary had a new parrot friend, and a magical musket we found. Setiel picked up a new follower he called his acolyte, and a new weapon I had never seen before called a zool. It looked a bit like a small handheld trident with sharp points. And Jarell, our captain, she took nothing for herself, preferring to give her share to the crew. A better pirate captain there never was. We needed to think of a good pirate name for her, as long as she didn't keelhaul us for doing it. Well, That's the end of me tale, Little John. Come back and see the old captain soon, because we're just getting started. There's lots more adventure to come. And make sure you bring another bottle with ye. 15 men on a dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. Drink for the devil, that's done for the rest, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum. What do you mean that's not the words? All right, I've had enough of that.